Welcome back, everybody. We're happy to be here. Welcome to Chapter 3 of 50 Shades of Grey.
So far, we've only seen about 5 or 6, but we are told that there are more, and we're excited to see them.
Shades of Grey? Sorry, that went right over my head. All right. Chapter 3. Kate is ecstatic. What was he doing at Clayton's? Her curiosity oozes through the phone. I'm in the depths of the stockroom, trying to keep my voice casual. He was in the area. Well, I think that's one huge coincidence, Anna. You don't think he was there to see you? My heart lurches at the prospect, but it's a short-lived joy. The dull, disappointing reality is that he was here on business. He was visiting the farming division of WSU. He's funding some research, I mutter. Oh, yes, he's giving the department $2.5 million grant. Wow. How do you know this? Hannah, I'm a journalist, and I've written a profile on the guy. It's my job to know this. Okay, Carla Bernstein, keep your hair on. So do you want these photos? Well, of course I do. The question is, who's going to do them and where? We can ask him where. He says he's staying in the area. You can contact him? I have a cell phone number. Kate gasps. Woo! The richest, most elusive, most enigmatic bachelor in Washington State just gave you his cell phone number? Yes. Hannah, he likes you. No doubt about it. Her tone is emphatic. Kate, he's just trying to be nice. But even as I say the words, I know they're not true. Christian Grey doesn't do nice. He does polite, maybe. And a small, quiet voice whispers, perhaps Kate is right. My scalp prickles at the idea that maybe, just maybe, he might like me. After all, he did say he was glad Kate didn't do the interview. I hug myself with quiet glee, rocking from side to side, entertaining the possibility that he might like me. Kate brings me back to the now.
I've never had anybody like me before. It's a new sensation.
I mean, it is. Probably, right? Let's see. Well, I don't know who will get to do the shoot. Levi, our regular photographer, can't. He's home in Idaho Falls for the weekend. He'll be pissed that he blew an opportunity to photograph one of America's leading entrepreneurs. What about Jose? Great idea. You ask him. He'll do anything for you. Then call Grey and find out where he wants us. Kate is irritatingly cavalier about Jose. I think you should call him. Who? Jose? Kate scoffs. No, Grey. Hannah, you're the one with the relationship. I squeak at her, my voice rising several octaves. I barely know the guy. Well, at least you met him, she says bitterly. The flu, she shakes her fist. And it looks like he wants to know you better, Anna. Just call him. She snaps and hangs up. She's so bossy sometimes. I frown at myself, sticking my tongue out at it. I'm just leaving a message for Jose when Paul enters the stockroom, looking for sandpaper. What was your voice for Paul?
Just some country thing. I don't remember.
We can't have it sound too much like Kate.
Why not?
We're kind of busy out there, Anna, he says without acrimony. What does acrimony mean? Let's see. I'm on my nook. Without harsh or biting sharpness, especially of words, manner, or disposition.
So he's not saying it because he's bitter that she was flirting with Christian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sorry, I mutter, turning to leave. So how come you know Christian Grey? Paul's voice is unconvincingly nonchalant. I had to interview him for our student newspaper. Kate wasn't well. I shrug, trying to sound casual and doing no better than him. Christian Grey and Clayton's. Go figure. Paul snorts. Sorry. He shakes his head as if to clear it. Anyway, want to grab a drink or something this evening? Whenever he's home, he asks me on a date, and I always say no. It's a ritual. Actually, it's harassment. I've never considered it a good idea to date the boss's brother. And besides, Paul is cute in a wholesome, all-American, boy-next-door kind of way. I was in a discussion recently with someone. We're like, what does all-American mean? It means And to me, I picture like a white football player with like bent on one knee, like holding the football under his arm.
Well, until Lil Nas did it, it was any dude in a Wranglers commercial. But
oh, yeah.
now it's any white dude in a Wrangler commercial.
Lil Nas?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yeah, Old Town Road.
Yeah, like Levi Wranglers commercials. Those are all American.
Okay, now I want to pick anytime they say all American, now I want to picture Lil Nas.
That's way better.
Yeah, I love it. Paul is cute in a wholesome all-American boy next door kind of way, but he's no literary hero, not by any stretch of the imagination.
So she only has 2 male friends that we've met so far, and she has clearly friend-zoned both of them in her mind, but hasn't decided to tell either one of them that she's not romantically interested.
Also, yeah, and with the exception of Ray, who, at least he's alive.
He's still alive.
All 3 of the men we've met like her, which I'm like irritated by that.
Well, she's not like other girls.
That's right. He's no literary hero, not by any stretch of the imagination. Is Gray? My subconscious asks me, her eyebrow figuratively raised. I slap her down. She doesn't use any indicators on who's saying this, so I'm just going to assume it's Paul. Don't you have a family dinner or something for your brother? Nope, I was wrong. Don't you have a family dinner or something for your brother? That's tomorrow. Maybe some other time. Paul, I need to study tonight. I have my finals next week. Anna, one of these days you'll say yes. He smiles as I escape to the store floor. Page break.
You shouldn't have to say you escape a conversation from your boss, ever.
Ugh, yeah. You shouldn't have to, especially your male boss who keeps asking you out. It's yucky. Okay, so we have a problem because this starts with an opening quote from Jose. I haven't finalized his accent in my head in a way that isn't offensive. I'm just going to try to do it who's that guy from... The only thing I can think of... Oh, Antonio Banderas. Mm-hmm. But I do places, Anna, not people. Does that sound like him?
I mean, it's a start.
Okay.
You'll find it.
I do places, Anna, not people. Jose groans. Jose, please! I beg. I pace the living room of our apartment, clutching my cell and staring out the window at the fading evening light. Give me that phone! Kate grabs the handset from me, tossing her silken reddish blonde hair over her shoulder. Listen here, Jose Rodriguez. If you want our newspaper to cover the opening of your show, you'll do this shoot for us tomorrow. Capiche? Kate can be awesomely tough.
Threatening people is tough.
Yeah. Good. Anna will call back with the location and the call time. We'll see you tomorrow. She snaps my cell phone off. Sorted. All we need to do now is decide where and when. Call him. She holds the phone out to me. My stomach twists. Call Greg now! I scowl at her and reach into my back pocket for his business card. I take a deep, steadying breath and, with shaking fingers, I dial the number. He answers on the second ring. His tone is clipped, calm, and cold. Gray. Mr. Gray? It's Elsie Steele. I don't recognize my own voice. I'm so nervous. There's a brief pause. Inside, I'm quaking. Miss Steele, how nice to hear from you. His voice has changed. He's surprised, I think, and he sounds so warm, seductive even. My breath hitches and I flush.
On a flip phone? Somebody sounds warm and seductive on a flip phone? I didn't even know that technology existed back then.
I mean, it does for Christian Grey. I'm suddenly conscious that Catherine Kavanaugh is staring at me. What's her name? Sorry, it's just weird that she put her entire name in her mouth open, and I dart into the kitchen to avoid her unwanted scrutiny. We'd like to go ahead with the photo shoot for the article. Breathe, Anna, breathe. My lungs drag in a hasty breath. Tomorrow, if that's okay. Would that be convenient for you, sir? I can almost hear his sphinx-like smile through the phone.
What?
Ghost of a smile, though, probably, right?
What?
Also, what is a sphinx?
What is it? So, first of all, what does any smile sound like? Okay? Then let's talk about how different smiles sound. And then let's talk about what a sphinx smile sounds like. And before we do that, let's talk about what a sphinx smile is. Okay. It's someone who knows the answer to the riddle that you don't.
That sounds like a troll under the bridge.
I mean, yeah, the Sphinx asked riddles, and if you didn't answer it, you got eaten. So similar concept. So it's like, I know better.
Mm-hmm.
So there's also this immediately like predatory thing. But how does that sound? Just like, or like,
But does it make a sound? Or is it just like, she said, would that be convenient for you? And then there was, no, stop it. I was just going to have there be silence. And she was like, ew, the Sphinx.
The Sphinx is smiling at me.
Also, did Sphinxes smile?
Apparently.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they had the head and torso of a woman and the forelegs and hindquarters of a lion for some reason.
Right, but did they smile?
I think so. Pretty sure.
Let's Google that after.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm staying at the Heathman in... Sorry, that accent was weird. I'm staying at the Heathman in Portland. Shall we say 9:30 tomorrow morning? Okay, we'll see you there. I'm all gushy and breathy. Like a child. Okay. Like a child, not a grown woman who can vote and drink legally in the state of Washington. In all states in the United States, actually. Actually, the age there is 14 and a half.
Yeah.
I look forward to it, Miss Steele. I visualize the wicked gleam in his eyes. The wicked gleam in the Sphinx smile. What does he look like right now? How can he make 7 little words hold so much tantalizing promise? I hang up. Kate is in the kitchen, and she's staring at me with a look of complete and utter consternation on her face. Anastasia Rose Steele, you like him! I've never seen or heard of you so affected by anyone before. You're actually blushing. Okay, you know I blush all the time. It's an occupational hazard with me. Don't be getting ridiculous. I snap. She blinks at me with surprise. I rarely have hissy fits, and I briefly relent. I just find him intimidating, that's all. Heathman, that figures, mutters Kate. I'll give the manager a call and negotiate a space for the shoot. It's amazing that all these things can happen, like, the night before. Mm-hmm. Like, you can just negotiate a shoot, and you can get the richest, most enigmatic, most richest man in the world at a moment's notice.
Yeah, well, he's smitten, so he's flexible. And knowing that they have him on the hook, the manager of the hotel,
that's true.
Because it's awesome publicity for his hotel too.
Good call. I'll make supper. Then I need to study. I cannot hide my irritation with her as I open one of the cupboards to make supper. Unnecessary page break. I am restless. Sorry, what are you laughing at?
I'm just laughing at her angrily opening cupboards to make herself a sandwich or something because her friend thinks that somebody might have a crush on her.
But every man has a crush on her.
Yeah, that's true.
Page break. I am restless that night, tossing and turning, dreaming of smoky gray eyes, coveralls, long legs, long Jack Skellington fingers, and dark, unexplored places. I wake twice that night, my heart pounding. Oh, I'm going to look just great tomorrow with so little sleep. I scold myself. I punch my pillow and try to settle. Unnecessary page break. The Heathman is nestled in the heart of downtown Portland. I'm just picturing E.L. James Googling that. Its impressive brownstone edifice was completed just in time for the crash of the late 1920s. I don't give a shit about this. Jose, Travis, and I are traveling in my Beetle, and Kate is in her CLK since we can't all fit in my car. Travis is Jose's friend and gopher, here to help out with the lighting. Kate has managed to acquire the use of the room at the Heathman free of charge for the morning in exchange for a credit in the article. When she explains at reception that we're here to photograph Christian Grey's CEO, we are instantly upgraded to a suite. Just a regular-sized suite, however, as apparently Mr. Grey is already occupying the largest one in the building. An overkeen marketing executive shows us up to the suite. He's terribly young and very nervous for some reason. I suspect Kate's beauty and commanding manner disarm him because he's putty in her hands. Maybe it's Jose!
Maybe it's the fact that their most elite guest, is being handled in different circumstances in their workspace, and he has to be in charge of it.
Yeah.
Maybe he's dealing with the most high-profile figure they will ever have through their doors.
Maybe it's the go for Travis.
Yeah, maybe he slept badly last night, too. It could be lots of things.
The rooms are elegant, understated, and opulently furnished. It's 9. We have half an hour to set up. Kate is in full...
Wait, Is it understated or opulent? Because it can't be both. If a room is understated but opulently furnished, like, what does that even mean? The walls are all, like, brown, but
the floor is made of diamonds.
Gold chairs. Simple. What did she say? Simple?
Understated.
Understated but opulent. The Sphinx would know.
We've never been to the Huthman, which,
true.
Let me tell you, was completed just in time for the crash of the late 1920s and is in the heart of downtown Portland.
I'm going to Google Huthman pictures just if I can see if this makes any sense.
Okay, cool.
Keep going.
All right. It's 9. We have half an hour to set up. Kate is in full flow. Jose, I think we'll shoot against the wall. Do you agree? She doesn't wait for his reply. Travis, clear the chairs. Anna, could you ask housekeeping to bring up some refreshments and let Gray know where we are? Yes, mistress. She is so domineering. I roll my eyes, but do as I'm told. Half an hour later, Christian Gray walks into our suite. Holy crap! He's wearing a white shirt, open at the collar, and gray flannel pants that hang from his hips. Did you look at it?
Yeah, they look like hotel rooms.
They don't look opulent, but understated?
They do not at all.
Huh. What if is it like a Holiday Inn?
It's not that bad. I mean, here also.
Hey. Holiday Inn, if you're listening.
Yeah, that's right. Defend Holiday Inn here. Someone's got to.
Oh, yeah. Understated, but opulent.
Not opulent. Understated.
Okay.
She said, oh my gosh, he's wearing a white shirt and gray slacks.
Gray flannel pants.
Business clothes to a business meeting?
Yep.
Business photos?
But holy crap. His unruly hair is still damp from a shower. You assume. My mouth goes dry looking at him. He's so freaking hot. Gray is followed into the suite by a man in his mid-30s, all buzz cut and stubble and a sharp. I hate it when she does that. When she says, like, blah, 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 all blank, 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 blank. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I'm talking? I'll just put it out.
It's machine gun adjectives. It's like nouns and stuff where it's like he's all hands and fists.
And feet and a nose and...
Yeah, so with Gray would be he's all eyes and sensuousness and long, long fingers.
Mr. Gray is followed into the suite by a man in his mid-30s, all buzz-cut and stubble in a sharp, dark suit and tie who stands silently in a corner. His hazel eyes watch us impassively. Miss Steele, we meet again. Gray extends his hand, and I shake it, blinking rapidly. Oh my, he's really quite... As I touch his hand, I'm aware of that delicious current running... What? Nice. I'm aware of that delicious current running right through me, lighting me up. For those of you who didn't know what he was doing a sphinx-like grin.
I'm blinking really quickly while extending my hand. I'm just imagining what that looks like, and it's not endearing. It's kind of creepy.
Not to her. I'm aware of that delicious current running right through me, lighting me up, making me blush. I'm sure my erratic breathing must be audible. Mr. Gray! This is Captain Kavanagh! I mutter, waving a hand toward Kate, who comes forward, looking him squarely in the eye. The tenacious Miss Kavanagh, how do you do? He gives her a small smile, looking genuinely amused. I trust you're feeling better. Anastasia said you were unwell last week. I'm fine, thank you, Mr. Gray! She shakes his hand firmly without batting an eyelid. I remind myself that Kate has been to the best private schools in Washington. Her family has money, and she's grown up confident and sure of her place in the world. She doesn't take any crap. I am in awe of her. Thank you for taking the time to do this. She gives him a polite, professional smile. It's a pleasure, he answers, turning his gaze on me, and I flush again. Damn it. This is Jose Rodriguez, our photographer? I say, grinning at Jose, who smiles with affection back at me. His eyes cool when he looks from me to Gray. Mr. Gray. Wait. Whatever. Jose nods. Mr. Rodriguez. Gray's expression changes too, as he appraises Jose. Where would you like me? Gray asks him. His tone sounds vaguely threatening, but Catherine is not about to let Jose run the show. Mr. Gray, if you could sit here, please. Be careful of the lighting cables. Then we'll do a few standing, too. She directs him to a chair set up against a wall. Travis switches on the lights, momentarily blinding Gray, and mutters an apology. Then Travis and I stand back and watch as Jose proceeds to snap away. He takes several photographs, handheld.
Photographs.
Yep.
Photographs.
Asking Gray to turn this way, then that. To move his arm, then put it down again. Moving to the tripod, Jose takes several more, while Gray sits and poses, patiently and naturally, for about 20 minutes. That's a long time for a school newspaper.
That's a lot of photos for, like, what is going to be 1 or 2 photos in a newspaper.
Yeah. Yes. My wish has come true. I can stand and admire Gray from not so afar. That was her wish?
She's not really a dreamer.
Okay. Twice our eyes lock, and I have to tear myself away from his cloudy gaze. Cloudy like a gray day, because when it's gray outside, it's like his last name.
Clouds are gray.
Enough sitting! Catherine wades in again. Standing, Mr. Gray? She asks. Standing, Mr. Gray? She asks. He stands, and Travis scurries to remove the chair. The shutter on Jose's Nikon starts clicking again. I think we have enough.
Who's that?
I don't know.
Who's that supposed to be?
Antonio Banderas.
Jose. Okay. So, make it Antonio Banderas.
Make it Antonio Banderas. I think we have enough, Jose announces 5 minutes later.
There you go.
Great, says Kate. Thank you again, Mr. Gray. She shakes his hand, as does Jose. I look forward to reading the article, Miss Kavanagh, murmurs Gray, and turns to me, standing by the door. Will you walk with me, Miss Steele? He asks. Sure, I say, completely thrown. I glance anxiously at Kate, who shrugs at me. I notice Jose scowling behind her. Good day to you all, says Gray as he opens the door, standing aside to allow me out first. Holy hell, what's this about? What does he want? I think. I pause in the hotel corridor, fidgeting nervously, as Gray emerges from the room, followed by Mr. Buzzcut in his sharp suit. I'll call you Taylor, he murmurs to Buzzcut. Taylor wanders back down the corridor. Wanders. Where are we going? And Gray turns his burning gray gaze back to me. Crap, have I done something wrong?
See, I'm glad she pointed out that his eyes are gray, because
I forgot, honestly.
I was thinking for a second there that they had gone, like, orange.
Yeah.
This is helpful.
I wondered if you would join me for coffee this morning. My heart slams into my mouth. A date? Christian Gray is asking me on a date? He's asking if you want coffee. Maybe he thinks you haven't woken up yet. My subconscious whines at me in a sneering mood again. Her subconscious is kind of a bitch. I clear my throat, trying to control my nerves. I have to drive everyone home, I murmur apologetically, twisting my hands and fingers in front of me. Taylor, he calls, making me jump. Taylor, who had been retreating down the corridor, in a wandery way probably, turns and heads back to us. Are they based at the university? Gray asks, his voice soft and inquiring. I nod, too stunned to speak. Taylor can take them. He's my driver. We have a large 4x4 here, so he'll be able to take the equipment too, Mr. Gray. Taylor asks when he reaches us, giving nothing away. Please, can you drive the photographer, his assistant, and Miss Kavanagh back home? Certainly, sir, Taylor replies. There. Now can you join me for coffee? Gray smiles.
Taylor
is
a just deal. Detached.
Yeah, Taylor doesn't give a shit about it.
Yeah. It's like if you spend your whole life as like a gopher butler dude for like the richest guy in the world, like you're just gonna be a zombie, man.
Yeah, that's what I think. Taylor's seen some shit. Can you join me for coffee? Gray smiles as if it's a done deal. I frown. Mr. Gray, this really... Look, Taylor doesn't have to drive him home. I flash a brief look at Taylor, who remains stoically impassive. I'll swap vehicles with Kate if you give me a moment. Gray smiles a dazzling, unguarded, natural, all-teeth showing, glorious smile.
As opposed to a sphinx smile. I wonder what that smile sounded like.
A dazzling, unguarded, natural, all teeth showing, glorious.
There's just like so many words for a smile.
For a smile. I mean, I wish I could tell you what I'm... Oh my. He opens the door of the suite so I can go in. I scoot around him to re-enter the room, finding Catherine in deep discussion with Jose. Hannah, I think he definitely likes you, she says with no preamble whatsoever. Jose glares at me with disapproval. But I don't trust him, she adds. I raise my hand up in the hope that she'll stop talking. By some miracle, she does. Damn, Anna. Kate, if you take Wanda, can I take your car? Why? Christian Gray is asking me to go for coffee with him. Her mouth pops open. Speechless, Kate. I savor the moment. She grabs me by my arm and drags me into the bedroom that's off the living area of the suite. Hannah, there's something about him. Her tone is full of warning. He's gorgeous, I agree, but I think he's dangerous, especially for someone like you. What do you mean, someone like me? I demand, affronted. An innocent like you. You know what I mean, she says, a little irritated. I flush. Kate is just comfy. I'm starting my exams this week and I need to study so it won't be long. She purses her lips as if considering my request. Request? Oh, for Wanda. Okay. Finally, she fishes her car keys out of her pocket and hands them to me. I hand her mine. I'll see you later. Don't be long or I'll send out search and rescue. Thanks. I hug her. I emerge from the suite to find Christian Grey waiting, leaning up against the wall, looking like a male model in a pose for some glossy high-end magazine. Okay, let's do coffee, I murmur, flushing a beet red. He grins. After you, Miss Steele. He stands up straight, holding his hand out for me to go first. I make my way down the corridor, my knees shaky, my stomach full of butterflies, my heart in my mouth, thumping a dramatic, uneven beat. I am going to have coffee with Christian Grey. ... And I hate coffee.
What a twist! Oh no!
We walk together down the wide hotel corridor to the elevators. What should I say to him? My mind is suddenly paralyzed with apprehension. What are we going to talk about? What on earth do I have in common with him? His soft, warm voice startles me from my reverie. How long have you known Catherine Kavanagh? Oh, an easy question for starters.
What's the square root of pi? That's how most people start their dates.
Since our freshman year, she's a good friend. He replies noncommittally. What is he thinking? At the elevators, he presses the call button, and the bell rings almost immediately. Even elevators move quickly for Christian Grey. Mm-hmm. The doors slide open, revealing a young couple in a passionate embrace inside. Surprised and embarrassed, they jump apart, staring guiltily in every direction but ours. Grey and I step into the elevator. I am struggling to maintain a straight face, so I gaze down at the floor, feeling my cheeks turning pink. When I peek up at Grey through my lashes, he has a hint of a smile on his lips, but it's very hard to tell. Possibly it's a sphinx smile.
Possibly.
That's why she can't
very
tell. But she'd be able to hear it if it was. So.
True.
So I'll take that back. The young couple says nothing, and we travel down to the first floor in embarrassed silence. Maybe they're not embarrassed. Maybe they're just like, here we are.
She's embarrassed and she's projecting.
Yeah. They even have bland piped elevator music to distract us. The doors open, and much to my surprise, Grey takes my hand, clasping it with his long, cool Jack Skellington fingers. Is that joke still funny?
Yes.
It makes me laugh every time. Every time she says long fingers.
Yeah.
And then I think about his long fingers and hers, what I guess are like stubby, short fingers.
Little baby hand fingers.
Yeah. I feel the current run through me, and my already rapid heartbeat accelerates. As he leads me out of the elevator, we hear the suppressed giggle of the couple erupting behind us. Grey grins. Well, is it about elevators? He mutters. Okay. I think at that point I'd be like, what do you mean?
Mm-hmm.
But...
Well, she's forgotten how to be a human being,
yeah.
So she's just struggling to, not spontaneously combust.
Right. We cross the expansive, bustling lobby of the hotel towards the entrance, but Grey avoids the revolving door, and I wonder if that's because he'd have to let go of my hand. Or maybe he doesn't know how to use a revolving door. That's his kryptonite.
They never taught me that in Harvard.
Outside, it's a mild May Sunday. The sun is shining, and the traffic is light. Grey turns left and strolls to the corner, where we wait for a crosswalk to change. He's still holding my hand. Also, I mean, I guess that's supposed to be sweet, but it's also a little like, whoa, who are you?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
We just asked me for coffee.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean we're holding hands.
No. That's like third base for her. First is a mysterious ghost smile. Second is answering the phone, I guess. Or no, first is breathing.
Breathing, yeah, that's a good start.
I'm on the street, and Christian Grey is holding my hand. No one has ever held my hand. I feel giddy, and I tingle all over. I attempt to smother a ridiculous grin that threatens to split my face in two.
No one has ever held her hand. Just sit for a minute with that. No one has ever held her hand. No wonder she's such a mess.
Yeah. It's just like from an attachment perspective,
yeah,
like from a
dude.
child.
It's like those monkeys who die because they don't get physical contact.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm sure that's partially responsible for why she's so unique.
Not like other girls.
no one has ever held her hand. Not even her mom, dude. That's pretty rough.
Try to be cool, Anna, my subconscious implores me. The green man appears, and we're off again. We walk 4 blocks before we reach the Portland Coffee House, where Gray releases me to hold the door. Do you think the Portland Coffee House exists?
Maybe.
Or is it just the most generic? So E.L. James is like, okay, need to name this coffee shop. What does it sell? Coffee. Where is it? Portland.
What is it called?
Portland Coffee House.
You know, Brits, they really drink tea, and so coffee is not really their thing. So I imagine she was like, what is a place where they serve coffee called? A coffee house? Yes, that one in Portland.
It's an interesting choice of voice for her. Is that what you think her voice sounds like?
No.
Okay. Where Gray releases me to hold the door open so I can step inside. Why don't you choose a table while I get the drinks? What would you like? He asks, polite as ever. I'll have English breakfast tea. Bag out. He raises his eyebrows. No coffee. I'm not keen on coffee. He smiles. Okay, bag out tea. Sugar. For a moment, I'm stunned, thinking it's an endearment, but fortunately, my subconscious kicks in with pursed lips. No, stupid, do you take sugar? No, thanks. I stare down at my knotted fingers. Anything to eat? No, thank you. I shake my head, and he heads to the counter. I surreptitiously gaze at him from beneath my lashes as he stands in line waiting to be served. I could watch him all day. He's tall, broad-shouldered, and slim, and the way those pants hang from his hips. Oh, my. Once or twice, he runs his long, graceful Jack Skellington fingers through his now dry, but still disorderly hair. Oh, I'd like to do that. The thought comes unbidden into my mind, and my face flames. I bite my lip and stare down at my hands again, not liking where my wayward thoughts are headed. Penny for your thoughts. Gray is back, startling me. I go crimson. I was just thinking about running my fingers through your hair and wondering if it would feel soft to touch. I shake my head. He's carrying a tray, which he sets down on the small, round, birch veneer table. She always likes to describe what things are made of.
Mm-hmm. And it's important to have at least 3 adjectives for the table they're sitting at, because that's the focus of this conversation.
Otherwise, I would have thought it was like plastic or something. Mm-hmm. He hands me a cup and a saucer, a small teapot, and a side plate bearing a lone tea bag labeled Twining's English Breakfast, my favorite. He has a coffee that bears the wonderful leaf pattern imprinted on the milk. How do they do that? I wonder idly. He's also brought himself a blueberry muffin. Putting the tray aside, he sits opposite me and crosses his long legs. Everything is long. Do you think?
He didn't get her a muffin.
She said she didn't want anything.
Still.
Maybe he'll share with her. Here's me, all gawky and uncoordinated, barely able to get him from A to B without falling flat on my face. Sorry, I skipped a sentence. I'm going to read the whole thing because it really puts into perspective where she is, just in case she hasn't shown us how clumsy she is already. Okay. Putting the tray aside, he sits opposite me and crosses his long legs. He looks so comfortable, so at ease with his body. I envy him. Here's me, all gawky and uncoordinated, barely able to get from A to B without falling flat on my face. Your thoughts? He prompts me. This is my favorite tea! My voice is quiet, breathy. I simply can't believe I'm sitting opposite Christian Gray, who I didn't even know existed 24 hours ago, in a coffee shop in Portland. He frowns. He knows I'm hiding something. I pop a tea bag into the teapot and almost immediately fish it out again with my teaspoon. As I place the used tea bag back on the side
I don't think it's been used. I think it got wet. I'm not sure that qualifies as being used.
Yeah, that's just water. As I place the used tea bag back on the side plate, he cocks his head, gazing quizzically at me. I like my tea black and weak, I mutter as an explanation, and that is a summary of her personality.
Yes. That is not... I'm offended. That... Doing that to tea is such a waste of a tea bag. You barely gave it time to absorb any flavor. It's the equivalent, you know how some people say with LaCroix, it's like someone ate a fruit and burped into the can before they seal it?
Yeah.
It's like that. It's like someone drank tea and then burped into the teapot before she drinks it.
Delicious!
She's so milquetoast.
But, I mean, she's... Yes.
Yes.
That's what she's supposed to be, is milquetoast.
I know, but you can have a boring person... without making them like boring stuff. You can be boring and have regular tea. You don't have to be drink watered down tea to be a watered down person.
It's deep as fuck. I like my tea black and weak, I mutter as an
I
explanation.
hate her so much.
I see. Is he your boyfriend? Whoa, what? Who? The photographer, Jose Rodriguez. I laugh, nervous but curious. What gave him that impression? No, Jose's a good friend of mine, that's all. Why did you think he was my boyfriend? The way you smiled at him, and he at you. His gaze holds mine. He's so unnerving. I want to look away, but I'm caught, spellbound. He's more like family! I whisper. Gray nods, seemingly satisfied with my response, and glances down at his blueberry muffin. His long, Jack Skellington fingers. Definitely. I just want to know that every time I'm saying that, it's because she's described his fingers as long. I mean, she does it. I mean, how many times have I said it so far? Like 4, right?
A couple dozen, probably.
Couple dozen.
Yeah. It's a
I mean,
lot.
that's a lot. His long fingers deftly peel back the paper, and I watch, fascinated. I've never seen someone take a muffin out of the wrapper before. Well, you know what she hasn't seen is someone take it out of the wrapper from 12 feet away because their fingers are so long. Do you want some? He asks, and that amused, secret smile is back. The secret smile. He's smiling secretly.
Behind his hand.
No thanks. I frown and stare down at my hands again. On the boy I met yesterday at the store. He's not your boyfriend. No, Paul's just a friend. I told you yesterday. Oh, this is getting silly. Why do you ask? You seem nervous around men. Well, to be fair, the only other man in her life, his only qualifications is that he's breathing.
Yeah. Yep. Everyone else is just a friend.
You seem nervous around men. Holy crap, that's personal. I'm just nervous around you, Gray. I just find you intimidating. I blush scarlet, but mentally pat myself on the back for my candor and gaze at my hands again. I hear his sharp intake of breath. You should find me intimidating, he nods. You're very honest. Please don't look down. I'd like to see your face. Oh, I glance at him, and he gives me an encouraging but wry smile.
Please continue to look down. I do not want to see your face.
He missed this. I think he would have liked it. He gave her an encouraging but wry smile. What does that look like?
Like someone who just ate a lemon at the same time they were told they won the lottery.
Nice. It gives me some sort of clue of what you might be thinking, he breathes. You're a mystery, Miss Steele. Mysterious? Me? There's nothing mysterious about me. I think you're very self-contained, he murmurs. Am I? Wow, how am I managing that? This is bewildering. Me? Self-contained? No way. It sounds like I'm adding it in, but I'm not. She's really saying this. Except when you blush, of course, which is often. I just wish I knew what you were blushing about. He pops a small piece of muffin in his mouth and starts to chew it slowly, not taking his eyes off me. As if on cue, I blush. Crap. Do you always make such personal observations? I hadn't realized I was. Have I offended you? He sounds surprised. No, I answer truthfully. Good. But you're very high-handed. He raises his eyebrows, and if I'm not mistaken, flushes slightly too. I'm used to getting my own way, Anastasia, he murmurs. In all things. I don't doubt it! Why haven't you asked me to call you by your first name? I'm surprised by my audacity. Why has this conversation become so serious? Can I call you by your name? Whew, so serious. This isn't going the way I thought it was going to go. I can't believe I'm feeling so antagonistic towards him. It's like he's trying to warn me off. The only people who use my given name are my family and a few close friends. That's the way I like it. Oh, he still hasn't said, call me Christian. He is a control freak. There's no other explanation. And part of me is thinking maybe it would have been better if Kate had interviewed him. 2 control freaks together. Plus, of course, she's almost blonde. Well, strawberry blonde, like all the women in his office. And she's beautiful, my subconscious reminds me. I don't like the idea of Christian and Kate. I take a sip of my tea, and Gray eats another small piece of his muffin. Are you an only child? He asks. Whoa, he keeps changing direction. This is very quick for Anna.
This is more attention than she's received from anybody in a non-official capacity, maybe ever.
Are you an only child? He asks. Whoa, he keeps changing direction. Yes. Tell me about your parents. Why does he want to know this? It's so dull. My mom lives in Georgia with her new husband, Bob. My stepdad lives in Montesano. Your father? My father died when I was a baby. I'm sorry, he mutters, and a fleeting, troubled look crosses his face. I don't remember him. And your mother remarried? I snort. You didn't say that. He frowns at me. You're not giving much away, are you? He says dryly, rubbing his chin as if in deep thought. As if. Neither are you. You've interviewed me once already, and as I can recollect some quite probing... You've interviewed me once already, and I can recollect some quite probing questions then. He smirks at me. Holy shit, he's remembering the gay question. Once again, I am mortified. In years to come, I know I'll need intensive therapy to not feel this embarrassed every time I recall the moment. I start babbling about my mother, anything to block that memory. My mom is wonderful. She's an incurable romantic. She's currently on her 4th husband. Christian raises his eyebrows in surprise. I miss her, I continue. She has Bob now. I just hope he can keep an eye on her and pick up the pieces when her harebrained schemes don't go as planned. I smile fondly. I haven't seen my mom for so long. Christian is watching me intently, taking occasional sips of his coffee. I really shouldn't look at his mouth. It's unsettling.
That's definitely a character trait you want in someone. Or anything really that's attractive is unsettling. How was your date? Unsettling. Oh, cool. You should definitely go on another one.
Do you get along with your stepfather? Of course. I grew up with him. He's the only father I know. And what's he like? Ray? He's taciturn. That's it? Gray asks, surprised. I'm gonna look up what taciturn means. Let's see.
It's like quiet, right? Withdrawn?
Well, my nook says it means temperamentally disinclined to talk.
Mm-hmm. Quiet.
That's it, Gray asks, surprised. I shrug. What does this man expect? My life story? Taciturn like his stepdaughter, Gray prompts. I refrain from rolling my eyes at him. He likes soccer, European soccer especially, and bowling and fly fishing and making furniture. He's a carpenter. Ex-army. I sigh. You live with him? Yes, my mother met husband number 3 when I was 15. I stayed with Ray. He frowns as if he doesn't understand. You didn't want to live with your mom, he asks. That is really none of his business, I think. Husband number 3 lived in Texas. My home was in Montesano. And, my mom was newly married. I stopped. My mom never talks about husband number 3. Where is Gray going with this? This is none of his business. 2 can play at this game. Tell me about your parents, I asked.
2 people can ask questions on a date.
What?
2 people can talk in a conversation.
She's never been on a date.
Anna, wow. Bold. She's bold.
So bold. Tell me about your parents, I ask. He shrugs. My dad's a lawyer. My mom is a pediatrician. They live in Seattle. Oh, he's had an affluent upbringing. And I wonder about a successful couple who adopts 3 kids, and one of them turns into a beautiful man who takes on the business world and conquers it single-handed. What drove him to be that way? His folks must be proud. What do your siblings do? Elliot's in construction, and my little sister is in Paris studying cookery under some renowned French chef. It's Guy Fieri. His eyes cloud with irritation. He doesn't want to talk about his family or himself. I hear Paris is lovely, I murmur. Why doesn't he want to talk about his family? Is it because he's adopted? It's beautiful. Have you been? He asks, his irritation forgotten. I've never left mainland USA. So now we're back to banalities. What is he hiding? Would you like to go? To Paris! I squeak. This has thrown me. Who wouldn't want to go to Paris? Of course, I concede. But it's England that I'd really like to visit. Does E.L. James live in England? Yes. He cocks his head to the side, running his index finger across his lower lip. Oh, my. Because? She doesn't say that. He says that. Because. I blink rapidly. Concentrate, Steele. It's the home of Shakespeare, Austen, the Bronte sisters, Thomas Hardy. I'd like to see the places that inspire these people to write such wonderful books. All this talk of literary greats reminds me that I should be studying. I glance at my watch. I better go. I have to study. For your exams? Yes, they start Tuesday. Where's Miss Kavanaugh's car? In the hotel parking lot. I'll walk you back. Thank you for the tea, Mr. Gray. Thank you for the hot water.
Yes.
He smiles his odd, I've got a whopping big secret smile. What does that look like? As opposed to my interpretation is when she said secret smile, that it was like the smile was a secret. But was she intending to say I have a secret smile?
Yes, he's smiling because he has a secret.
And he's
smiling because he knows something others don't, which is that, well, you'll see.
And this is I have a whopping secret smile.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're welcome, Anastasia. It's my pleasure. Come. He commands. Sorry, I was distracted because I was thinking about, would he pronounce it as like pleasure? Pleasure. It's my pleasure.
Sure.
He commands and holds his hand out to me. I take it, bemused, and follow him out of the coffee shop. We stroll back to the hotel, and I'd like to say it's in companionable silence. He at least looks like his usual calm, collected self. As for me, I'm desperately trying to gauge how our little coffee morning has gone. I feel like I've been interviewed for a job, but I'm not sure what for. Do you always wear jeans? He asks, out of the blue. Mostly. He nods. We're back at the intersection, across the road from the hotel. My mind is reeling. What an odd question. And I'm aware that our time together is limited. This is it. This was it. I've completely blown it. I know. Perhaps he has someone. Do you have a girlfriend? I blurt out. Holy crap, I just said that out loud? His lips quirk up in a half smile. I was just thinking that, and I've said this before, but like if we were like walking behind them during this conversation, I think I'd be like, what's happening here? His lips quirk up in a half smile and he peers down at me. No, Anastasia, I don't do the girlfriend thing, he says softly. Oh, what does that mean? He's not gay. Oh, maybe he is. He must have lied to me in his interview. Yes, because any man that is not interested in you must be gay. And for a moment, I think any man who's not interested in you must be gay or you're dead. He must have lied to me in his interview. And for a moment, I think he's going to follow up with some explanation, some clue to his cryptic statement, but he doesn't. I have to go. I have to try to reassemble my thoughts. I have to get away from him. I walk forward and I trip, stumbling headlong into the road. Shit, Anna! Gray cries. He tugs the hand that he's holding so hard that I fall back against him just as the cyclist whips past, narrowly missing me, heading the wrong way up this one-way street. It all happened so fast. 1 minute I'm falling, and the next I'm in his arms and he's holding me tightly against his chest. I inhale his clean, wholesome scent. He smells of freshly laundered linen and some expensive body wash. It's intoxicating. I inhale deeply. Are you okay? He whispers. He has one arm around me, clasping me to him, and while the fingers of his other hand softly trace my face, gently probing, examining me, his thumb brushes my lower lip and his breath hitches. He's staring into my eyes, and I hold his anxious, burning gaze for a moment. Or maybe it's forever. But eventually, my attention is drawn to his beautiful mouth, and for the first time in 21 years, I want to be kissed. I want to feel his mouth on mine. And that is the end of the chapter.
Ew.
She went from having her first handhold to wanting her first kiss. This is a lot in one chapter.
That's a lot for one weak pot of tea to carry for a human being.
Yeah. And I bet they never see each other again, and the story's over.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. I guess this is it.
Bye.